Welcome back to another episode of Freedom Blueprint Podcast. I'm your host, Justin Deese. And listen, before we jump into today's episode, I wanted to share something pretty cool that we're doing. You know, one of the biggest challenges I hear from owners across the country is in finding and developing great service managers. And honestly, that's exactly why we created Service Manager Academy. This is a 12-week program to help your managers go from top performing technicians to confident leaders. In this program, they'll learn how to lead their teams, protect gross profit margin, and create a culture of accountability and success. If you want the business to run smoother and grow stronger, check out servicemanagertraining.com. That's servicemanagertraining.com. Now, let's get back to the next episode.
This year brought massive wins and the hardest loss I've ever faced. And honestly, it changed the way I lead, the way I show up, and the way I think about life and business. Today, I'm sharing the real story, the wins, the losses, and the lessons that shaped my year.
Running a home service business is hard. So how is it that some people make it look so easy? Well, we'll tell you. This is the Freedom Blueprint Podcast. It's always good to hear the wins that successful contractors have. But have you ever thought that the best advice would be to hear about the speed bumps they encountered, the mistakes they've made along the way? We're going to talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly. We want you to be successful and avoid the mistakes others have made. Let's get this party started. Welcome to the Freedom Blueprint Podcast. Now your host, Justin Deese.
Welcome back to the Freedom Blueprint Podcast. I'm your host, Justin Deese, and today we're going to do some things a little different. We're going to slow down, and we're going to look back at the year. And we're going to talk about the wins, losses, and lessons learned that have shaped my year. As a leader, we move fast, and sometimes too fast. So today is all about reflection, because reflection creates clarity, and clarity creates momentum. So let's jump in. Let's start by talking about losses. This is one of the things that most people don't like talking about. I'm included in that group. These moments typically don't show up on anybody's highlight reel, in their Instagram stories, or whatever social media platform you use. But here's the deal. I believe that losses can be the most valuable part of your journey, because losses can motivate you, and they can shape your future decisions, and they can push you to grow in ways that wins never do. So here's the first loss of the year for me, is overcommitting. This year I said yes to too many things, too many projects, too many trips, just too many commitments. And that was a loss of my capacity, my energy, and honestly, a little bit of peace. Number two is losing momentum in my routines. With all the travel and all the momentum this year, I lost consistency in a few areas of my life. My morning routine slipped, my planning time slipped, and my workouts weren't consistent. And honestly, I could feel it. I wasn't as grounded as I wanted to be. And third, well, this is the big one, and it's a tough one, but I lost my mom this year. And honestly, it's still really hard to believe that she's gone. My mom was pretty incredible. She faced some tough inner battles over the years, but those battles never defined who she was. My mom loved people. She had a big heart, and my mom was the life of the party. Not to mention, she was a pretty amazing Mimi to my kids. When I was growing up, she was a waitress here in the beach town we lived in. So summers were super busy, pretty wild. And as a waitress, that's really your money season. Wintertime, that was the shoulder season. So everybody was doing their best to scrape by with very few customers, and money was tight. I know my HVAC guys know all too well about this roller coaster of a ride. As a kid growing up, obviously my mom worked different shifts. We weren't flush with cash. So a lot of times if I wanted to do something, I had to figure it out. And I mean all of it. How to get there, how to pay for it, how to get home. And growing up in a beach community, there was a pretty good amount of money, in the area that we lived in. Kids and families, man, they seem to have like everything. And I remember as a kid, I used to think that I was missing out. But now as an adult, I see all that so much differently. I see that the life I had as a kid was pretty awesome. And things I learned helped me immensely as an adult, as a leader, as a husband, and as a dad. Here's the truth about all of that. My mom gave me some pretty amazing gifts that neither one of us recognized at the time, but I definitely see them now. She gave me independence. She gave me grit. She gave me determination. She taught me how to problem solve, and she taught me how to adapt. She wasn't perfect, but none of us are. But she was pretty amazing, and she will truly, truly be missed. Sharing the real stuff is pretty difficult, at least for me. But I got to tell you, it matters, and it's important, and it helps us grow, and it helps us connect. So with all of that, here are my 5 biggest lessons learned from the year. Lesson 1, your past can shape you without limiting you. Those early childhood challenges, or what I thought were challenges, really became my leadership superpowers. Some of the hardest parts of my childhood became the exact strengths I use every day. I didn't get it back then, but what I thought was a struggle was really building muscles. Second lesson, people are more than their struggles. As leaders, we need to see the whole person, not just the hardest chapter. This year reminded me that everyone carries battles we never see. As leaders, empathy is our superpower. Lesson 3 is small moments matter than big plans. Presence beats productivity. It's the small moments that set the tone for everything else. And this year proved that presence creates more impact than productivity ever will. So when I was thinking about that too, I just wanted to add this part. This was really for me tied back to one-to-ones. And it was about giving that presence and that stillness for your team to listen to them and see what it is that you can do to help them. Man, early in my career, I can remember telling team members, like, hang their crap at the door. When you come in here, I don't care, which, is so inaccurate and so wrong in so many ways. But the truth is, I didn't know any better. Like, that's just what I thought leadership was. But that's not what it is. From a leadership perspective, if you're going to be a leader, I highly recommend you be a servant leader and care about your people, not just from the financial standpoint, but from a personality and personal issue. Because the truth is, whatever they're struggling with outside your doors, they're struggling with inside your doors, whether you know it or not. And a lot of times just taking a few minutes and sitting down with somebody and going through, I know we talk about scorecards and people are like, ooh, scorecards, corporate America. It's not what it is. Numbers don't lie, and numbers do tell a story. So if you have a team member that you're having a little bit of trouble or a little bit of challenges with, a pattern will show up. I promise you. If you're doing these one-to-ones and you're watching their scorecards, patterns will show up that you can connect with them on a human basis, not just a swing a hammer kind of deal. But I know I talk a lot about one-to-ones on the podcast, and I'll be doing some other stuff in the future, going a little bit deeper on it. But just for now, that was really, it just came to my mind when I was talking about that. But let's move on to lesson 4. So lesson 4 is independence is great, but connection is greater. You don't win alone, and leadership is built on relationships. I spent years priding myself on being totally independent. I wore it kind of like a badge of honor. But the truth is, the best growth happens with people not alone. So I think about it like this. Think about giving a high five to somebody, right? And I'm going to give credit to Levi Torres from High Five Plumbing. He talks about, his business is called High Five Plumbing. And he talks about why they named it that and the transfer of energy, basically, you're giving to another person. And I don't know, I think about like good vibes. And man, giving a high five to somebody is a lot different than giving yourself a high five. Doesn't really quite do it. Unfortunately, I'm in a studio by myself, so I don't have anybody to high five. So if you're watching on YouTube, give me a high five. And if you're listening in your truck or cutting the grass or driving, give me a high five. Unless you're driving, actually, 10 and 2, man. I know you all drive 10 and 2. So, all right, lesson 5. Let's move on because you know me. I will go down a rabbit hole. Lesson 5 is gratitude. Gratitude changes everything. Even in loss, there's gratitude. Gratitude brings perspective. It brings growth. Gratitude anchored me this year. It didn't erase the hard stuff and the hard things, but it definitely gave me a better place to stand. And when I look at the 5 of these lessons together, I can see how they shaped the direction of my year and the direction that I'm heading this next year and years beyond. They grounded me, they clarified things, and they reminded me what actually matters. Now, after talking about losses and reflection on lessons learned, I want to shift gears. I'm a positive guy, and so I like to talk about wins more than losses. But I think it's part of the journey, and so I wanted to share some of that stuff with you guys. But let's get into the good stuff. So, because really, this year came with some incredible moments, and moments worth celebrating. Moments that fueled me, and moments that created, again, momentum for the future, not just 2026, but beyond that. So let's talk about wins. One of the biggest milestones for our family this year was watching our daughter make this big shift from high school into this exciting and, as a dad, honestly, terrifying and a little scary for Addie and Kristen, but the next challenge into being a college student. And not just a college student, but like living in the dorms and doing the whole experience thing. And it's been really cool to watch her grow and make that transition. And she's excelling, and it's really fantastic to see. So that made Kristen and I officially empty nesters, which kind of seems weird to say because I think empty nesters, I think of old people. I don't think I'm old. I don't know. Maybe I am. But nevertheless, made us empty nesters. And once that happened, man, we started traveling a lot. Since July, we connected and reconnected with leaders all over the country, and we attended 6 or 7 industry events. We attended some workshops, and we completed 3 on-site visits with different clients, and it truly energized the second half of our year. Another big win was shifting my focus. So Leap Service Partners was the company that we sold, the private equity group that we sold Paradise Home Services to a couple of years ago. And after working with them for a few years, I really felt called to focus my energy on really helping other contractors grow, right? I wanted to spend more time on the podcast. Like there's just other things that I wanted to work on. I'm still working with them a little bit, helping them with some things, but full time, I'm not on the team anymore, which is great. It's great for me. They're an amazing team. If anybody's looking to find somebody to partner with their business or sell their business to, I recommend them, man. And you're welcome to reach out to me, and I can give you all the info I've got about it. But I do want to give this shout out for anybody looking to sell their business. I did write an ebook last year, and it's called Pipe Dreams to Payday. And really, it breaks down the 6 most common mistakes people make when selling their business. And if you want to download a free copy, go to freedomblueprintpodcast.com/ebook. And even if you're not ready to sell your business, it's still a good ebook. It really, the 6 common mistakes have to do with running your business every day. Anyways, download it, check it out. It's not heavy reading. I wrote the book, right? So there's lots of pictures and big words, not big words. I mean, big words like big print. So anyways, download it, check it out. If you got any questions, let me know. If you want to know more about Leap or you're interested in selling your business, obviously you can email me at any point. Super easy, justin@justindeese.com. And I can, I can kind of go through it with you and what the process looks like. All right, shifting gears a little bit to a few other wins that I definitely want to share. And this is a big one, the podcast. The podcast has absolutely grown like crazy. It has grown beyond my expectations. I mean, this whole thing started out as just like this passion project. I had it on my vision board, and it was one of those things where I'm like, I got to pull the trigger. I didn't have a long-term goal, a long-term strategy. I didn't even know how to do any of it. So it was more about giving good content and putting out good content consistently. And that was really the goal. That was it. Like, be consistent, good content. And it's honestly, it's humbling and exciting to get feedback from people that I've gotten feedback from. You know, when I'm recording in the studio, it's different. It's me, it's a camera, it's lighting, it's a studio, but it's just me. So I can't get feedback. And even when I'm looking at, things like downloads and analytics and where these people are downloading from and all that kind of crazy stuff, then it still is not a human interaction. What was cool this year is to be able to go out to all of the events that we went to and have so many people that I've never met that are like, oh my gosh, I listen to your podcast. I love it. And they're showing me their screen and they're wanting to take a picture. It's really cool. And certainly I didn't know that the podcast was going to lead me down this journey, but it has. And I'm certainly grateful for all of it. I am grateful for the ability to be able to do it. And honestly, for you listening, if you were listening, thank you. If you're sharing this with people, thank you. If you're leaving a 5-star review, thank you. This stuff doesn't happen without you, the audience, listening and downloading and giving good feedback. And feedback can be good or bad. I got thick skin. So if there's something I'm doing that you don't like, or you think that there's something I could do that's better, I'm always open to feedback. Doesn't mean I'm going to change it, but it does mean I'm certainly open to feedback. I'm not an expert. I am pretty good at running home service businesses. My hobby side hustle is this podcast. So, but anyways, just again, I can't say it enough. Thank you, all of you listeners, for making this such a cool thing. Another big win this year was we hosted our first live event. I say our first, it wasn't our first live event we've done. It's the first live event that has just been us in our hometown. Anyways, it was really cool. And anytime you do that, you really don't know what to expect. You don't know the turnout. And it was incredible. And the feedback we got was amazing. So much so that we are going to do another one in 2026, specifically April of 2026. And so listen, if you're interested in attending and coming and hanging out, go to freedomblueprintlive.com and you can check out all the information about it. This year it's at Pensacola Beach. So we are on the beach in a beautiful resort and we're pretty pumped about it. I will say, being from Pensacola, spoiler alert, a little bit of a spoiler alert. Being from Pensacola, this is the home of the Blue Angels. This is where the Blue Angels are based out of. So I will say there will be some Blue Angel activity happening at the show this year. So I'm really excited. I won't get into too much more detail, but if you want more information, go to freedomblueprintlive.com. You can check out more info or go ahead and grab a ticket before it sells out. It did sell out last year. Again, you don't know when you do the first event, and it did. It sold out. So I'm anticipating this year will sell out faster. But yeah, so get your ticket, and I can't wait to see you and hang out. And if I've never met you, I can't wait to meet you. And if I have met you, it's going to be awesome to hang out again. So one of the other big wins this year, and this is a favorite personal / professional win, has been watching Kristen's business grow. Man, the virtual CFO for the trades has absolutely taken off. And when she first started the business, it was going to be just her. And then quickly she realized that, customers demand you grow, right? And there's a good story. I think I've told it here on the podcast before of, this has been a number of years ago. Chick-fil-A was in a boardroom and these investors were pushing Kathy Truitt, who's the founder. Unfortunately, he's passed away now, but was the founder of Chick-fil-A, and he was still the CEO or director, chairman of the board. I don't know what his exact title was at this point, but he kept saying, these investors are saying, we got to grow. And Kathy Truitt, who's a pretty mild-mannered guy, like just slammed his hands on the desk and said, we will grow when our customers demand it. Like, demand it. And they have. So the point I'm getting to with that is Kristen's business and the people that work with her have demanded her grow her business, and it's been amazing to watch it. She has added additional team members. She's even started adding new services like bookkeeping. And it's just amazing to watch her build such an incredible team. And really, during our entire entrepreneurial journey, I'm usually the one that's building the teams, but yeah, that's definitely not been the case this time. It's her, and I can't even say it enough. It has been so impressive to watch her grow this team. So really, really cool. So as we close out this year, I want to give you a little bit of a simple action step. Before you step into 2026, or whenever you listen to this, even if you're in 2026, take 10 minutes and write down your biggest wins, your biggest losses, and your most important lessons learned from the year. I got to tell you, I think you'll be shocked with the clarity that comes from doing this exercise. I certainly know I was, and it took me a few minutes to get started. Obviously, the loss of my mom, that's top of mind, still top of mind. So that was an easy one, which made it more difficult to even think about any other losses because that one was so big that none of the other losses even compare to that. So anyways, just take a few minutes and do this exercise. I promise you'll be grateful that you did it. And as always, if I can be any help, I'm pretty easy to find. So don't hesitate to reach out to me. And if you need some help with doing that exercise. But listen, thank you for joining me on today's episode. I know it's a little different, but also make sure to subscribe so that anytime new episodes drop, you're notified. And share this with a fellow leader who could benefit from slowing down and reflecting on their year. Until next time, keep setting those trust goals and watch your business and leadership transform. This is Justin Deese from the Freedom Blueprint podcast. Stay motivated, keep reflecting, and as always, keep crushing it.
You've been listening to the Freedom Blueprint podcast. Information is useless if not applied. So take what you've learned and go and implement it. We hope you've enjoyed the show. If you did, make sure to like, rate, and review. We'll be back soon. But in the meantime, find us on social media at Freedom Blueprint for Home Services and hit the website at www.freedomblueprintpodcast.com. See you next time.